pick a word, prayer.
You want to tell me about prayer?
I think it's good for some people. I don't pray. I would be considered a apathetic agnostic. I think prayer is good for some people because it gives them hope.
If I can get some clarification on it.
Certainly,
Okay.
certainly.
So when you say prayer, what do you mean by prayer?
Praying to either God or to Jesus Christ.
How is that prayer? What are they doing when they're praying to God?
They can
or
either
Jesus Christ?
speak loudly or speak to themselves.
Okay.
They get themselves in a sort of meditative state. I think most prayers they're probably asking for something.
The apathetic part, what is an apathetic agnostic?
I don't really care.
You don't really care? Okay. Don't care about what?
I don't care about religion.
You don't care about religion?
It isn't in my life at this point. I don't think it will be. I wasn't brought up with a strong religious background.
Is there a reason that it's not important to you?
I just, don't believe in a higher being.
Okay.
Okay. And it's something that I keep to myself. I never want to offend anybody.
Prayer isn't something that you do?
No, I don't pray.
Okay. Do you think it could be beneficial for people to do?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
that's just me. Okay. But if somebody else, if they want to pray, I think it's good because it gives them hope.
Prayer is good because it can give them hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is something positive.
How do you know that prayer gives people hope? How can we test whether or not when somebody prays, if it does or doesn't give them hope?
We can ask them.
We can ask them. Okay. How are we able to measure that, right? How we determine their level of hope?
You'd have to take it at face value.
If somebody prays, right, can they be mistaken about whether or not it was good for them?
Could they be mistaken?
Yeah. Because could they think that it's giving them hope, but it really doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. That's an honest answer. I like that. Is there any other way that we could determine whether or not prayer is good?
If their prayers were answered.
How would we be able to determine if people's prayers are answered or not?
Well, you'd have to talk to them, find out their situation. Did things improve? If the prayer was answered, the result of the reply.
So if we were to ask somebody whether or not their prayer was answered, right, that would increase your confidence that prayer is good. In the same kind of idea, is there something that would lower your confidence, if prayer wasn't answered?
Well, whose prayers are ever answered?
I don't know. How would we be able to figure that out?
Something, yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good answer. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's sometimes we just don't know, right? Yeah.
Yes.
If one of the only ways that we can know that prayer is good, because both of these kind of have that same idea of asking them, how can we be so sure that prayer is good, right? Especially if you had said about unanswered prayers, I don't know then, how do I test that? So how can we know that prayer is the good thing?
How can we know?
Yeah, if our only way to figure that out is really by asking somebody. We kind of determined already that they could be mistaken.
Yeah, and usually when people pray, it's usually a personal thing too.
Explain more what you mean by the personal thing, that it's a meditative state, and how that could be prayer being good. How is that benefiting the individual?
It gives them hope.
Gives them hope. Okay. If they were mistaken about the prayer giving them hope, and there is some other method that they could utilize to get hope, would you still think that that prayer is a good thing?
Well, you know what they say, a little bit of prayer never does anything wrong.
What happens if the person decides to pray
Okay.
for hope rather than
Doing something about the situation.
It?
Yeah. Well, that's bad, to rely on prayer as opposed to trying to make steps to correct the problem.
Yeah. Would you still say that like you're 60% confident that prayer is good?
Yes, because it doesn't do harm. But then again, as we discussed earlier, maybe they should, if they have a problem, they should address it as opposed to relying on prayer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, prayer is just an extra thing, It's an extra.
Could you think of an example where prayer might actually cause harm directly?
Where they don't take any action and they just,
Yeah.
well, I could give you an example.
Sure.
If like a house is on fire
Yeah.
and they don't get out, they just pray, chances are they're going to get burned alive.
Yeah. That would certainly do it, right?
Yeah. So,
All righty.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me about it?
No, but thanks a lot for jarring my brain. I appreciate it. It was fun.